So by now you must have solved them yourself. Let us see one by one. So we have 1, 0, 1. So x-intercept 1, y-intercept infinity, it is parallel, z-intercept 1, right? So you make 1 point here and you make 1 point here. That is it. Don't look at the plane, please. Don't look at the plane. You make 1 intercept here, 1 intercept here. You join this line because this line is part of the plane that you have, isn't it? If this line is defined by z-intercept and y-intercepts at 1, x and z, so draw this line. Draw this line. Now once you draw this line, then this is on the left face, right? If you see, this is the left face. This is the left face, this is the diagonal. So exactly on the right face, you draw the same diagonal. The initial thing is that on x-axis, you have marked point 1. On z-axis, you have marked point 1. This is corresponding to this. You join the line. Now, see where, on which face this line is. This line is on the left face. So opposite, on the right face, draw the same line. Now once you have drawn the line, then just join them. So now this is the plane. This is the plane 1, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0. Right? So this is the way you do it. That don't look at the solution directly. First only draw the intercepts. Join the intercept lines. Whichever plane it is there, draw the same line on the exact mirror side and then complete the plane. Let us do the next one. This is 1, minus 1, 0. 1, minus 1, 0. So first of all, as soon as it is minus 1 on y-axis, what should we do? We should change the origin on y-axis, right? This is your previous thing. We did the same thing in direction indices. So if there is a minus 1 on y-axis, then this is x, that is y. So make this your new origin. So this is the first thing that you do. There is a minus 1 on y, so now your origin is this. From here you will find the intercepts now. So from here your first intercept is x1. So from here move plus x and 1. So you have 1 point. Then from here move y minus 1. So from here this is y plus, this is y minus, you go to this point. So don't look at the plane. Just start that you had a blank cube. Now you shifted the origin here. The first intercept was there. The second intercept was here. So join this line. Now the same technique as before. This line is on the bottom face. So draw exactly same line on the top face. Right? This line is the diagonal on the bottom face. Go to the top face, which is the mirror, and join it. So now you have these two parallel lines, and then complete the plane. So this is the plane 1, minus 1, 0. 1, minus 1, 0. Right? So this is what you should do. You should always, when you are solving it, you should write that, you see, if I have this plane, then the reciprocals, right? Not reciprocals. The intercepts are x is equal to 1, y is equal to minus 1, z is equal to infinity. The reciprocal, 1 minus 1, 0. Right? So my typing error, I'm sorry. The intercepts are x1, y minus 1, z infinity. And the reciprocal, x1, y minus 1, z 0. Right? So this is how you do it. Let us go to the third example if it is there. Yes, it is there. It is 2, 2, 1. 2, 2, 1. What is the first step? These are outside the cube. So divide it by the largest number so that they come inside. So divide by 2. This is 1, 1 half. So this is the first thing, that the largest number should be 1. Otherwise you will have to, from there, if you go to 2, you are going here. You are outside the cube. Now you can't draw anything. So if any number is larger, then divide by the largest one. So it is 1, 1 half. So now it is there. 1, 1 half. Yes? So these are the intercepts first. Remember, right? These are the intercepts. 1, 1, half. Yes or no? Then you do 1 upon that, 1 upon that. So rather than doing it, you can directly do this. If you have to do intercept, right? Intercept, then directly invert it. This becomes 1 by 2, this becomes 1 by 2, this becomes 1. Isn't it? Because these are the Miller indices. So rather than reducing them first, dividing by 2 and so on, you know that from Miller indices, you first want to find the intercepts. Intercepts means 1 upon this. So this is half, half, 1 already. So therefore you have half, half, 1. Half, half, 1. So now go to x, a point at half. Go to y, a point at half. Go to z, a point at 1. And now it is a very simple plane. Whenever there are all three, then it is a very simple plane to draw, because you just mark the 3 points on the xyz intercepts and join the lines. When one number is infinity, the other number is infinity, then you have to think a little, like in the previous examples. But if all the 3 intercepts are given, then there is nothing to do. Directly do it. Right? So we are just again showing you the 1, 1, 0 which we did earlier, and so on. Now something new. Miller indices you have done. So actually you have done all the 3 basic things that were required to define forces and stresses at the crystal level. To define forces and stresses. Forces will be some number with some direction. Some number with some direction. A force is always directional. So when you did direction indices, you learned how to write forces or how to show forces on a crystal. And then a stress is this force and it is perpendicular to this plane. So therefore this force per unit area will be stress. Yes. So therefore you needed to find planes. So these were the 2 things you wanted. You wanted direction indices so that you can define forces at a crystal level, and you want to do Miller indices so that you could define planes in crystal level. Coordinates of course were required to find the direction indices, because direction indices are last point minus first point. So when you have done now coordinates and direction indices and Miller indices, then now you are ready. If in the future you need to define what are the forces, on which planes they are acting, how do I define stresses, you know that. Now there is something advanced, right? It is very simple for us. Miller indices x, y, z or whatever, but a relationship only for the cubic system. Cubic system means FCC, BCC, not HCP. HCP is hexagon. So if it is FCC or if it is BCC, it is both cubic. So they are saying that first of all, the direction 1, 0, 0 is perpendicular to the plane 1, 0, 0. You see, these are brackets, the rectangular ones, and these are parentheses without commas. When it is without commas, it is not points. So 1, 0, 0 direction is perpendicular to 1, 0, 0 crystal plane. That is how vectors are defined. So this is very nice. Now something totally new, interplanar spacing. Interplanar spacing. You see, we have BCC, but there are crystals, there are millions of crystals. Millions of crystals. So it is the right face of one crystal. Next crystal is lying close to it. So if in the next crystal you say right face again, same face, same plane, then what is the distance between these 2 planes? This will be very huge in defining a lot of things later on. Interplanar spacing. You define any plane, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1 plane on this crystal. Find the 1, 1 plane on the next crystal adjacent to it, closest to it, and what will be the distance between them. So based on this, a lot of calculations will come. So the formula for interplanar spacing. So this d is the distance between the planes. HKL is just IJK or XYZ. These are the Miller indices. These are the Miller indices. So if you have a cubic system, either BCC or FCC, it has a lattice size A, right? And HKL are the indices of the Miller plane. That is it. HKL are the Miller indices. So if you have 1, 1, 1, if that is the plane, then what is the distance between one plane 1, 1, 1 and the next plane 1, 1, 1? This is the formula. So just divide the A for that cubic crystal by 1 square plus 1 square plus 1 square. So it is A upon under root 3. If on the other hand you had 101 plane, so what is the distance between 101 plane and the next 101 plane? So 1 square plus 0 square plus 1 square, it will be under root 2. So A upon root 2. So right now we will not have too much of descriptions based on this. Towards the end of the chapter you will see that this interplanar spacing plays a huge role in experimental work done at microscopic level, crystal level and so on. Right now this much is enough, that if we want to find interplanar spacing, then this DHKL is the interplanar distance between the plane HKL and the next plane HKL, right? So this is it. So a very, very, very simple problem. There is nothing to it. You can even do it by hand and so on. Copper has an FCC crystal structure. They are telling you that copper has FCC crystal structure and a unit cell with lattice constant of 0.361. So lattice constant is what? A small a for the cube. What is its interplanar spacing? D220. D220. So you can do it yourself and there is nothing to it. The formula was there. DHKL is equal to A upon under root H squared plus K squared plus L squared. So the value A is this divided by under root of 2 square plus 2 square plus 0 square and you are done. Right? So you just put these values and you will get 0.128 nanometer, because this distance is in nanometers. A is always in nanometers. So you do this and this is the answer. So this is the interplanar spacing, that if you have copper and this copper has a lattice constant of 0.361, then one plane 220 and the next plane 220, the distance will be 1.28 nanometer. As I told you, right now you are doing just a very simple calculation. Later on you will know that this is the foundation of a lot of serious level experimental work. Now some further slides are there. Planes and directions in hexagonal unit cells. Planes and directions in hexagonal unit cells. I have written quick self-study. Quick self-study. Remember, if I say not included, it is not included. When I say self-study, it will be there in quizzes and exams. But what I will do this time, you study it. I can ask you multiple choice or say true false or small theory questions, but I will not give you, make it easy this time, I will not give you a numerical problem from these few slides. But you read it with enough care so that a small theory problem from here, very short theory, or true false or multiple choice you can do. So this slide, planes and directions in hexagonal unit cells. This slide, this slide, this slide, this slide, this you try to understand quickly yourself. This you understand quickly yourself. I will ask not problem based from here. So that is a big already favor, a big favor, that from this hexagonal side I will not give you direction indices and Miller indices as a problem, but I can ask you small questions of how to do it and so forth, and a small multiple choice or a small true false from here. This is still an example, so this also is included. From here now I will explain to you again. So let us stop here. Let us stop here for today. Unfortunately, I think I made a mistake. Just before the break time I said this is enough for today, but no, that was the break time only. And now lecture 2 is finished. Inshallah, we will meet you again. So please go through the lecture, revise it yourself, understand it, so that you are ready for any questions in the online question answer session. Thanks a lot. Ma'as salama.